Let's start a discussion on very important topic, which is a regulatory sandbox in anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing for a business analyst exploration. So, how the business analyst will interact with them has a risk assessment or transaction monitoring and onboarding and onboarding and detail and I'll explain degree way. Before that, if you like my videos and my efforts, so do like and subscribe my channel, so that will motivate me to create more videos on such topic for you. So let's discuss on the what is a regulatory sandbox and why it is an important. So the regulatory sandbox is a control and time bounded environment set up by the financial regulator. So in India there is the central bank or the financial intelligence units. These setup do the regulatory sandbox to allow for place and innovation financial product service and the business model on their premises. So the interaction between how the regulator and the banks and the financial institution will happen. So that's the environment that created by the regulatory. So the purpose of these environment creation is to foster an innovation in a safe and contained manner. So innovation will go faster and in a contained manner to reduce the time to market and lower the cost for a few new solutions. So reduce the cost and it should be the new solution has a new cost and it should be effective, and before deploying in the production environment it should be get tested, validated, and shorted before to put the features or function in the production environment. In the context of anti-money laundering and counter financing terrorism, a space to test new technologies that will increase the rate of true positive and reduce the rate of false positive rate alerts. So AI, machine learning, biometric ID for the anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing compliance will enhance these things. And I already told you, we want the bank or financial institution or the compliance team or the regulator wants to increase the true positive rates from the word check screening or the payment screening or the transaction monitoring system and reduce the false positive rate. So that's why these will develop. So the role of business analyst and this overview. So what is the exact role? We know that the business analyst has a bridge between the development team and the business team. So business analyst is act as a critical link between the business technology team and regulator and the compliance team. So it's in a bank or the financial institution, there are the different team like a compliance team, operation team, or the software user team, or the vendor team, or the IT team, or the uh, higher management team. So business analysts will bridge between all these teams, gather the requirement from all these team, and do the final solution that will solve the business problem, that will increase the true positive rates while we are running the transaction monitoring system. So that way, and how he should be thinking about how I can add the AI/ML techniques that will increase the true positive rate. So then key roles and responsibilities of business analyst in there too. I already told you the requirement initiation and requirement gathering and document these requirement, prepare the wireframes and prototype with using the the tools like the Palsmith or the Envision, Figma to draw these tools, and also to draw the flow chart, workflow diagram, UML diagrams, unified modeling language diagram with using the MSVGO or the draw.io. These are the, the structure, and then the stakeholder management to prepare the asymmetric project charger or the high influence or the low influence or, the like chart of the project, high interest, low interest chart of the project, and do the stakeholder management that will help him to gather the requirement on the basis of the stakeholder, and the process and workflow design to draw the process flow diagrams and each the step by step, and the risk assessment and risk mitigation, what are the factors, what are the risks in that project, why we are, what the technological risks, what are the functional risks, what are the financial risks, what are the cost risks for these projects to do on that, what are the the resource risks for these projects to do the risk assessment and risk mitigations before we start the projects, and the documentation and reporting. So that's the important to prepare the documents like business requirement document, functional requirement document, requirement traceability matrix document, or to draw the trace case document, to draw the change request document, or to draw the the test case document. These all the documents prepared by the business analyst to reporting and show all these documents for the presentation of the end user manual. So these all things document done by the business analyst in that the regulatory sandbox and their work. So let's discuss on the application and scoping of these functionality. So understand why, to understand the five why we are doing, why we are done that thing, what are the problem we are going to solve, what are the the impact of that system once that successfully completed, what are the challenges we are going to solve, and after implementing this system, what are the challenges if they need anything so the user will face. So to do the 5 why analysis and 5W1H analysis, so that will help us why is the project is good candidate for the sandbox, what, why, and why specific anti-money laundering and counter-financing terrorism challenges are now trying to solve, what are the business problem what we are going to solve by these solutions which are you working on that currently. So that way thinking we should have, and he should do the list of activities like the regulatory analysis, stakeholder identification, business case document is a very important document, and test plan creation. So in regulatory analysis, the BA will do the decon demonstration and interpret the specific regulators like KYC, transaction monitoring, name screening, sanction screening, regulatory country sanction, individual sanctions, or the entity sanction, economic sanction. On that basis, think that way. Why we are working on that regulatory analysis? What are the problem that solution will try to solve? Internal sanction lists, external sanction lists, that new solution will impact, what are the functions for the payment sanctions. So that's the things we will doing in the regulatory analysis, and the stakeholder identification. It's the key important topic. Map all the key stakeholder, including the internal business like compliance, IT, legal, operation team, or the higher management, and the regulator to understand the regulatory teams, different teams. So that will help us to identify the stakeholder. If stakeholder is important, whatever the problem or whatever the open points the business analyst have, if he has prepared the very well the racy matrix or the interest and influence matrix, so he whatever open point he have immediately conduct with that stakeholder and gather the requirement related to that open point, and add this requirement in there the document part, that then prepare the business case development. So it's an important to define the problem statement, propose solution, and expected benefit and success matrix for the sandbox period. So what does timeline to create need to do? What are the milestone we are going to achieve each stage of this project? So that's the business case and development will help the business analyst. And then the test plan creation. So then the testing, once that all these things done, so we need to test that functionality or the technical things that will work as we are expected or as we are writing in the document. Each we match that field is accurately and data will show correctly. So the we will do the SIT testing, we will do the UAT testing, all these things testing or the individual level testing. So to prepare the test case document, so collaborate with team to define the scope, test cases, and user success criteria for the live test. So what are the criteria, what the functionality will done by the system, so we can say that that functionality is expected as we are want, has the business want, and that functionality is able to solve the business problem. So we will do the test case plan creation in that ways. And then testing, live testing and monitoring. So we will monitor these things. The role of BA in this action is this, that this is a where the business analyst ensure the test runs smoothly and generate the required data as the business want. So data integration, data validation, modeling, filtering, or the alert generation or alert monitoring. So all these things will done by the the business analyst. Yes, the analysis and testing where in that environment. So then the performance monitoring track the solution performance against the defined success matrix. Is that working or has we defined that performance is has we expected? Then the data analyst analyze the data from the test to identify the trade anomaly and the potential issues in that data, or that data will give you the significant output from the system. And then issue trades the document and communicate with any issue or the risks that arise, or work with the team and build solution if while testing will do. And if any issue we will find, so we need to track that issue at what stage that issue we will find. There are the certain stages in that the process. First one is a requirement gathering, requirement analysis, then design, then development, then testing, the coding, and then the deployment will happen in the production. So in testing, it is the technical issue, or it is and the requirement gathering issue, or it is and the design issue. Accordingly, to tag this issue and track this issue once up to the to deployment in the production environment of that issue and solve the problem. So that for that the PA will prepare the requirement traceability matrix or the issue traceability matrix, so where he can track all these issues in the right way. And the issue trains the document and communicated any issue or the risks arise, or work with the team and find the solution. I already explained it. And the feedback loop, maintain a continuous feedback loop between the business development team and regulator. If there is a new feedback will come, if there is a project enhancement feedback will come, and that will help to the increase the capability of the product or increase the functionality of product. So track this feedback and product backlog item, and prioritize this feedback with the product owner or the business team or the compliance team or the regulatory things, or deprioritize the previous requirement on the basis of feedback received from this team. And the reporting, prepare the regular plan progress report to both the internal stakeholder and the regulatory regulators to update them the progress of the projects which he is running. So these are the things is there. And then the exit and the commercialization is the most important thing. So from sandbox to market, so we need to move that code or that features or function from sandbox to the market. The focus on shift from testing to preparing the full scale launch to the market. So the activity which involve in that business analyst is exit report. So he will prepare and compliance the comprehensive final report, detail the test result, lesson learned, and risks and recommendation for the future project. So that exit report will contain what how the testing is completed, or the deployment is completed, when it completed, who by whom it's completed, the sign up, who provided the sign up on these documents, and how the system will work after implementing that all these functionality or features, who are the the stakeholder involvement in that team. Okay, and what are the future recommendation, what are the challenges if there if the system will face, and how to eliminate these challenges. So that all these things are done in the exit report. And the regulatory license, work with the regulator to address and remaining concerns and careful the authorization on the licensing. So regulator license will take from them. And the commercialization plan, to develop plan for scaling and solution, including the new business processes, training the material and support the model. So commercialization plan will done by. And the knowledge transfer, to do the KT for the teams, different teams. So the user do the KT, technical person if new in the system, compliance person, or the regulator related to that product and functions to transfer the KT. So document all new processes and knowledge to ensure the smooth transaction to the operation team will happen, or the live team which working on the live issues, so that team also the knowledge transfer will happen. Okay, then the challenges and the best practices to success such kind of projects. So challenges may be the managing the multiple teams, so like the IT team, business team, operation team, or the solution team, or the the compliance team, or the higher management team, or the regulatory bodies team, or they're the different teams. So manage to multiple team, obtain conflict or the stakeholder expectations, or that is a feasible or the non-feasible, technically feasible, operational feasible. So that thing also we thinks on the stakeholder expectation, and the dealing with the regulatory ambiguity, rapidly adopting unforeseen technical and compliance issue, and ensuring the data privacy and security throughout the testing process. So that's the challenges faced by the business analyst and the best practices for the business analyst to success such kind of the project. So be regulator partner in this project, build and trusting and transparent relationship with the regulatory body, understand first there, and he should be a good listener, be a regulator's partner, okay, and think like a coder whenever the gathering requirement. So it is a technically feasible, it is a functionally feasible. So always think like a coder, is that able? So he should know what are the coding language like the Java, Python, or the .NET, SQL we are writing. So understand that thing, how the entity relationship diagram is there, how the UML diagram is there, how the data structure will look like, how the data will flow from the front end screen to back end to the SQL or the to the database, and then database to the front end, what is the flow. So that thing will goes in the business analyst mind to understand the technology capabilities and the limitation, to set the realistic expectation. So that level of thinking, so business analyst should have. The proactive is the risk management, identify and mitigation the risks whenever at the early stage, whenever he is gathering the requirement, and the stakeholder or the business team or the compliance team will give him the requirement and want to how that solution will look like. Immediately business analyst will think what are the, if this kind of the requirement we are fitting in the solutions, what are the challenges, what are the problems we are going to face, and is that solution is or the is that solution is the technically feasible. So immediately interact with them and help the stakeholder why we are not able to implement that solution, and get the alternative solution from that on that point. And the documenting everything and maintain the meticulous record and decision changes the results. Documenting everything, take a sign off on everything, document in the respective stakeholders. Then the case study and the snapshots. Okay, so what is the case study, guys? So let's we are creating one the scenarios, and we will working and how the PA will work on that scenario. A fintech startup want to test a new AI powered transaction monitoring solution for the anti-money laundering. Suppose one of the new fintech startup organization, they want to test the new AI powered transaction monitoring solution for the anti-money laundering and counter terrorist financing. So how the BA journey will work in that the projects. So I'll explain you. So he will define the scoping, testing, and the exit plan report. So first of all, in the scoping plan, so business analyst will do the requirement, he will understand the why that the new fintech start want to build that functions or the solution or that product with using the minimum viable project functionality. So understand the main objective of creating that project, what are the in-scope functionality and out-scope functionality, what are the financial challenges or the financial institution challenges or the bank challenges that startup want to solution, who are the user of that solutions, to understand that all these things, then the prepare the project charter, then prepare the traceability requirement RACI matrix, then prepare the in scope functionality, out scope functionality, and define the high level the business problem or the business goal after implementing that things. So BA define the scope and reducing the fails positive by 40% and identify the relevant transaction reporting requirement. So what are the business rules or what are the the rules defined by the regulator we are trying to solve. So that's all these things we include in the scope and outscope functionality, and then explain that features, or then prepare the documents, business requirement document, functional requirement document, or the test or the development document that will help developer, so how they are develop that functionality, and then done the testing. So be it track the fails positive rate and transaction alert solution. So reporting the finding and regulatory weeklies, update all the stakeholder while preparing the weekly report and the progress of the projects. And then the exist make this report, the BA comply with the final report and demonstrate the solution has effectiveness, and working with the regulator to refine the reporting process and full scale development. So that's the development, and in the UAT it will work successfully, and how that will work and how that will reduce the fails positive rates. So then the conclusion of this video. So the recaps. The DA regulatory sandbox is a power tool for responsible innovation in the financial anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing. It is at the powerful tool for the sandbox. For the BA values, what are the BA values? The business analyst is the lands, indispensable for in these processes and ensure the successful navigation for the complex regulatory and business and technical requirements. So these are the complex requirements. Continuously, regulator wants to new requirements or upgrade the system or the function. So BA may be ensure that all the regulatory requirement, all the operation requirement we are deploy in the production environment. But what are the feasibles, that things we will deploy and how we will make that feasible in the technical solution. So BA will convert the business requirement into the technical requirement or the system perspective requirement. And the final thought, guys, on this, it is about the building the future where the innovation and compliance are not opposing the forces but the partners in the progress. So these are the motive my to create these videos for you. So if you like my efforts and my videos, to like and subscribe, and that will motivate me to create the more videos for you guys. So thank you so much for watching these videos. Thanks.